Sri Gurubhyo Namaha children. Welcome to this online teaching academy, Ekalaiva. Class 8 Social Science, and we are going to learn a lesson from geography. The name of the lesson is agriculture. We have already seen part 1 in the previous session. In this session we are going to see part 2. So we have already learnt about farming, that is cultivation of soil for producing crops and rearing of livestock for food, wool and other products, process of farming and types of farming. In this session we are going to see about major crops and how they are classified as food crops, fiber crops and beverage crops. So when we consider about the food crop, rice and wheat are the major food crops. And what are all the conditions for growing these food crops and the places where these crops are grown, we are going to see in this lesson. So when we take rice, this is a staple food for half of the population in the world, and it needs some conditions for its growth. For example, high temperature, high humidity, annual rainfall of above 100 centimeter, alluvial clayey soil. So it is grown in hot and humid regions. For example, it is grown in tropical regions, that is areas which are around the tropical regions, and it requires high humidity, annual rainfall of about 100 centimeter and alluvial clayey soil, that is a fertile soil which can retain water, and this is a soil which are sedimented by the river deposits. So river deposits the sediments and this is called the alluvial soil which is very fertile. So the rice is grown in China, India, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Thailand, Vietnam, Myanmar, Philippines and Brazil. When we move on to wheat, it is also the staple food in the mid-latitudes countries. Moderate temperature and rainfall during the growing season is required. Abundant sunshine at the time of ripening and harvest. That is, bright sunshine is needed for wheat production. And well-drained loamy soil. What is this loamy soil? It is a combination of silt, clay and sand. So wheat is an important item for international trade also. It is grown in the places of, that is in the countries of USA, Canada, Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, Australia and India. And when we move on to millets, so millets are coarse grains or small seeded grains. Example, we can say ragi, jowar and bajra. So the conditions for growth of these millets are low rainfall and high to moderate temperature is enough. That is, low rainfall is enough for growing millets, and it can grow in less fertile and sandy soil also. So it can be grown in less fertile and sandy soil also. And it is grown in India, China, Niger and Nigeria. Actually, we had been using this millets for a long time. With the advent of rice and wheat, people did not use these millets much. But nowadays, after getting awareness about the nutritious values of millets, people started to use this again. And when we move on to maize, this is a food crop as well as a fodder crop, and it is also known as corn. So it is grown in moderate temperature, moderate rainfall and plenty of sunshine is required for growing this crop maize. And well-drained fertile soil. What is this fertile soil means? This soil contains all important nutrients for the crop to be grown. So fertile soil is a very good soil which is very fit for the cultivation of crops, which has which contains lot of nutritious value in the soil. It is called a fertile soil. So maize is grown in USA, Brazil, Argentina, Ukraine and Mexico and China. And we move on to fiber crops. What is a fiber crops? It is used to make paper, rope, etc. So this fiber crop are grown in the conditions of high temperature. When you take into account this cotton crop, it is grown in high temperature, light rainfall, long frost-free period, bright sunshine and black soil. So the largest producer of cotton in India is Maharashtra. And places where this crop is grown are China, India, Pakistan, USA and Brazil. So the quality of cotton depends upon its length of fiber, luster and clearness, color, etc. And jute is another fiber crop. It is also called golden fiber. It is grown in India. It is largely grown in West Bengal. And the conditions for growth of this jute fiber is high temperature, heavy rainfall, a humid climate, well-drained fertile alluvial soil. And these are grown in India in the regions of Delta. That is, Delta regions of India and Bangladesh are the places where this crop is grown. And we move on to beverage crop. So coffee and tea are popular drinks. Coffee, this grows best in hilly areas, warm and wet climate, well-drained loamy soil. And the places where this crop is grown are Brazil, Colombia and India. Then tea, it is grown under the conditions of cool, frost-free climate. It needs plenty of rainfall throughout the year, but there should not be any water logging. And well-drained loamy soil and gentle slopes. It is grown in the gentle slope so that water cannot be stagnated. It will flow off. So we need well-drained loamy soil and gentle slopes. So for tea plantation, we need well-drained loamy soil and gentle slopes. And we require skilled laborers, that is, they should be specialized and trained in picking the leaves, in picking the tea leaves. They need some special training and skill. So, for conditions for growth of tea are, we need cool, frost-free climate. That is the time which is available for growing this, time available for growing this crop or crop production is called a frost-free climate. And plenty of rainfall. And also it should not be, water should not be stagnated or it should not be logging it. And well-drained loamy soil and gentle slopes. It will be grown in the slopes and skilled laborers. And what is this agricultural development? So we have seen about the major crops and we move on to agricultural development. What is this agricultural development? So to meet the increasing demands, there should be a very good agricultural development. So steps taken for increasing the agricultural production to meet the increasing demands is called agricultural development. So we have to increase agricultural production to meet the demand. There should be proper agricultural production to meet the increasing demand. That is called agricultural development. Then only a country can be called agriculturally developed country. So agricultural development is very important for the development of the economy also. Then what is the important objective of agricultural development? It is to increase the food security. What is food security? The people should get safe and nutritious food at all times. It is called food security. So the agricultural development should be in such a manner so that all people at all times, they have to access economically, physically and socially to sufficient, safe and nutritious food and in a healthy life, to lead a healthy life. This is called agricultural development. So to get the agricultural development, there should be usage of more machines. So agricultural development can be brought about by the usage of machines like tractors, harvesters and threshers. So you know what is how the tractors are used in the agricultural fields for plowing the land. Harvesters are used to harvest the crop. Threshers are used to remove the grain from the straw. And we have to adopt more scientific techniques such as use of fertilizers, high yielding varieties of seeds and improved irrigation facilities. By using all these scientific techniques, we can bring a very good agricultural development in our country. And in developed countries, while most farmers in developed countries like the USA, Canada and Australia, they practice commercial farming on large holdings. That is, the developed countries like USA, they all practice commercial farming, that is crops produced for sale for commercial purposes on large land holdings. But countries like India, developing countries like India, they practice subsistence farming on small, fragmented plots of land. Why this condition arises? Because sometimes, this is the law of land. It is followed in India. Suppose if a father has 3 or 4 sons, he will divide the land and give each piece to each son so that they will have a small fragmented plots of land and they will be developing subsistence farming there. So this is the difference between developed countries and developing countries. Difference of farming in developed countries and developing countries. Then digital revolution in Indian agriculture. So what is this revolution? A change in the method of agriculture. A change in, that is that there is a change in using technology in Indian agriculture. Digital revolution in Indian agriculture means actually in agriculture in India faces many challenges. Low yields by the farmers, degradation of farmland due to over irrigation, overuse of chemicals, rapidly growing demand for food, often rising debt among farmers because farmers borrow money from the money lenders and even from the banks. They are not able to repay it since they have very small size of holdings and the low yields from their farmlands also are the reasons for not they are not in a position to repay the debt to the money lenders. So many of these challenges are addressed by a digital revolution in Indian agriculture. What is it? It is Electronic National Agricultural Market, that is ENAM. It is an initiative by the Government of India to provide an online trading platform. So what is this called? This ENAM is nothing but an online trading platform for agricultural goods in India. So through this ENAM, that is Electronic National Agricultural Market, farmers are able to sell their products through online trading. And even the payment is made by the buyers and traders to the farmers through online. So they are able to sell their agricultural commodities through this online trading platform. So this online trading platform called ENAM helps them to get the best prices for their products. And another app is also available for the farmers called Mahindra and Mahindra's Tringo is a mobile based app that allows the farmers to hire the tractors. That is, they need not buy it. They need not buy it. Instead, they can hire the tractors and pay the service charges alone. That is enough. Instead of buying them, they can hire the tractors by using this mobile app and other farm machineries also without having to buy them. They need not buy them. Instead, they can pay the hiring charges only. So they just have to pay for the service. They need not buy it on their own. So it is very much useful for the poor farmers who cannot afford such a large amount in buying the tractors and other farm machineries. So this is the huge help for the farmers who could never afford to buy any of these machines on their own. So this is a great service provided by Mahindra and Mahindra. Thus, digital revolution is changing the lives of thousands of farmers across India. So we have completed this session, children. We have learned about the major crops and what is how the revolution took place digitally in India. All these things we have completed in this session. Thank you, children. We will meet in the next class. And to get the online lessons, press the subscribe button to receive the latest updates. Thank you, children.